What's up, YouTube world? I want to say hello to my fam back home in Tennessee. It's Sunday afternoon here in the Philippines. You know, just another gorgeous, gorgeous day. It's kind of had an overcast, but yeah, I hadn't done one in a while. I've got moved over here to my new apartment, and it's just been so much better than my last apartment. Um, no roosters, no dogs barking all night long. Just seems like even though it's a bigger complex, it just seems like it's a whole lot safer over here. Got a great little sorry store, which for you back at home, it's kind of like a mom and pop's. It's like they just put them right there, like attached. They're attached literally to their house. So it's got. I went today and got bread, drinks. What else did I get? Bread, drink. Oh yeah, and 8 bottles of like butane gas because that's how I cook for right now. But I'm fixing to go buy a double burner that uses propane instead of the butane. So yeah. But it's another sitting here talking to you video about my experiences here in the Philippines and really how great it's been. Minus my leg incident, and then me giving my motorcycle to my surgeon, which I didn't realize at the time that the hospitals pays the surgeons, like the patients don't pay the surgeons, the hospital pays the surgeons. But anyway, I kind of got duped on that one, but it's all right. I still got my legs, so praise God for that. And he's been really good, like he really has. So, he just got a brand new motorcycle out of the deal, and that's fine. I still kept my leg. It's just I can't really fit in them tricycles very well because they're all made for Filipinos, and it's not made for a 5'11", 260-pound Americano. So it's you're basically in a Cracker Jack box, but other than that, I don't have any complaints. I'm hoping to be able to get another motorcycle before I have to go back to the States and get this. I got blowed off a platform at work back last September, and broke 6 ribs, broke my tib, my fib. Had to have some titanium rod put my lower leg. Had to teach myself how to walk again. It was a very, very difficult time, but then I had a break in between doctors. I had 6 weeks, so I thought, well, I'm going to come to the Philippines, and ribs they're still messed up, but yeah. So I came out here, and then bam, almost lost my. Well, it started in my right leg, and then it jumped over to my left leg, necrotizing fasciitis, and it was fast-acting, fast-moving, flesh-eating bacteria. And so, the doc, decided he would remove 75% of my lower left leg in order to get the infection out, and then he cut a big hole in my ankle. And I would show you pictures, but I really don't think that YouTube want to see anything. Y'all won't see anything that gross, even though there may be stuff out there even more grosser than that. But yeah, so I'm still healing from that, and then just having to deal with everything that come along with the work injury, And then insurance companies over there in America, like they just try to screw you every way that they possibly can screw you, they are going to. And then it's because the laws that, these big pharma and big insurance companies, they pretty much own the politicians. So then they get to make it easier on us and harder on the worker that's doing the work, that's doing the actual work. But I think I'm done with all that stuff. Well, I know I am. They ended up, while I was in the hospital out here, they ended up firing me out there, but thank God I got on disability, and that's kind of how I've been, just getting by, eating and, paying my rent. I love this apartment. Oh my God, it's a studio, but I just love it. Once you go from the street that I was on, roosters all night long, I've never heard, like, even in America, like, the roosters don't crow until daybreak. Here they crow all night long. I've never seen nothing like it, But, it's okay. And then the dogs, like the stray dogs, there was probably at least 20 stray dogs on that last street that I lived on. Over here, I think I've seen like maybe 3 or 4, and I really think that there's somebody's. But I see them out here in the parking lot, but I just want to talk a little bit about blue collar Philippines, because, these guys, they get out here on these tricycles and in this heat, and they are, hustling. That's, they're getting their hustle on every day in them tricycles. It's usually like 30 pesos. Depends on how far you go, but if you're just going around town to the mall or, to DIY or to the fish market or something like that, it's usually 30 pesos for a ride, and it's really not that far to walk. But still, you try to help the community out. And then, laundry here, they wash it, they fold it, and they wash it, dry it, and fold it, everything for a couple hundred pesos. And you really can't beat that. And that's like a week's worth of laundry. So, and then today, what I spent over there at the Sari Store was only like 600 pesos. So you're not going to, America's just, they're robbing everybody, from the electric bill to the water to the taxing on everything. Tax your money. They tax it when you work. They tax your check. They tax the gas, the lien. They tax your food, drinks, your property that you own, that you paid for. They want to tax that, and really, I think that's illegal. I think that's unconstitutional, really. I know Florida just ended, and I think Mississippi just ended tax on property and tax on income. So, they're definitely right now making a good step in the right direction. I think more states, especially my state, Tennessee, should, join in on that, especially, and then chemtrails. Tennessee was one of the first states to pass the law, even though they were still spraying. It went into effect July 1st of 2024. And when I left in December of 2024, when I left in December, they were still spraying. I mean, me and my neighbor sit out there and counted 8 planes one day, just spraying, just stripe after stripe after stripe, and what they're doing to the soil when it comes down, and these farmers, they're going to find out, but it's going to take lawsuit. I mean, if we don't do our part and do what's just to the unjust, then they're just going to keep pushing. They'll push and push and push, until finally they push far enough, so, I just hope that people wake up over there in America. It's that and the microwave weapons. the targeting, illegal targeting of individuals. There's couple billion dollar lawsuits brought on by targetedjustice.com. And they've got like 20 clients, I think, out of 200, but I follow them on X, I follow them on, anything that I can follow them on Facebook, whatever, any kind of social platform, I try to follow them. And then they send me newsletters too, because I fell as a victim to that. And that was one of the biggest reasons why I left America. The constant bombardment of, these high-powered cell phone towers. Of course, everybody keeps a cell phone on them, and it started causing me severe headaches, just different things, but I finally just said, I'm not living my life like that. And then I come over here and boom, get a big burn on my leg, and then it set up that necrotizing fasciitis, and then I almost lost my left leg. So, but thank God since then I ain't really experienced anything, terrible. So I'm just trying to get better so I can go back, handle this workers' comp, get that straightened out, and then I'll be right back over here. I mean, that's how much I love the Philippines. People can, I didn't try to bring the West over here because that's what I was leaving. I was getting out of the West, and the tyrannical governments, the FBI, the corruption of, the CIA, the FBI. CIA will probably be that downfall of America. If they've got anything to do with it, because most of them have done bought property down in South America, from what I've done my research on, so they want to see America destroyed, and once it's destroyed, it's going to be a different world without America in it, being a strong nation that it once was, so but I love it over here. I plan on going to Vietnam, maybe next year, or later this year, maybe before I come back, I may go to Vietnam. I'm hoping that I can start doing some travel vlogs. That's kind of the whole reason why I started this channel, is because, and then of course ended up in the hospital, down for a couple months, still really down, and got no way to travel other than in these little bitty tricycles, and they're not that fun. So but these people over here, they work hard. They're very hard working folks. It's different pace. I call it island time. It's definitely a different place, different pace. But it's you just get used to it. It's all about what you love, and what you enjoy doing, and everybody over here is so nice. I haven't encountered. I've seen other Filipinos arguing with each other, but I haven't encountered anything like that. But I kind of stay to myself, and I go to the mall when I need. There's a supermarket there at the bottom floor of the mall, and it's got pretty much anything that you're going to need. So I go there and get my groceries, and sometimes it's once a week, sometimes it's more than that. It just depends on what I'm cooking, when I'm cooking it. So I just wanted to let my family know, hey, leg's healing. It's just taking its sweet time. It's definitely not in no hurry. He gave me this new stuff, the doc did, to help close the wounds up. So I'm kind of hoping that really does, kind of speed up the process so I can get back. I've got to get this handled in America, so I can, get back to just, um, living my life, so. And then hopefully by the time I get back, I can do some travel vlogs, show you guys around these beautiful islands, some swimming holes, some waterfalls, just some different places, God willing, if my leg will hold up, I'll be able to do that. So, it's some volcanoes. There's actually one maybe 30 minutes from where I'm at. And actually, yeah, one, and then one's about an hour and a half away. So, but yeah, it's just, you got the mountains here, you got volcanoes, you got beautiful, clear crystal rivers, you've got the ocean, you got great, the roads are awesome if you love riding motorcycles. The roads are great, so. And I'm actually in Mindanao, where the United States especially tell you don't come. That's kind of, anything that they say, I'll go. If they say go right, I'm going left. If they say, do this, it'll benefit your health, I'll do right the opposite, because I definitely do not trust the government. I think a lot of it, has been corrupted either by Epstein Island. I think that's why a lot of that stuff hasn't come out. I think there's a lot of pedos that's in Congress and the House of Representatives, and I think they've been caught, and once the CIA, gets dirt on them, then they own them, so they'll do exactly what they tell them to do, and so I think we need some incorruptible, God-fearing people back home that's putting these radicals and these blackmail people out of office and get America back on track with spending crazy amounts of money, especially when they turned it to use against the people. That's actually, I really hope this lawsuit goes through and they win, because that's going to open up the door for about 250,000 more people that I hear that was on this National Terror Database. So it's something that the FBI, CIA created, so that way that they could have an excuse to try this stuff out on innocent bystanders, innocent civilians, really, is what it boils down to. But it's terrible, but I believe God's revenge is much greater than any humans could ever be, you know what I mean? So I give him all the glory. I'm definitely having a blessed time over here. Was going to this church up there when I was in Lake Cebu. It's can't really some of them, they speak some English, but most of the time it's up there they were speaking Tabali. Down here it's more Cebuano or Ilocano. So it's different dialects. Like I reckon there's like 176 different dialects. So there's no way after speaking English my entire life that I can learn all of them. But I've learned a few phrases. So that's pretty good, I guess. But yeah, I just want to say hello to my family back home. Hopefully I'll be there. If my leg closes up, I should be there within a couple months to get all this handled. I got to get this doctor or this hospital paid off out here. I still owe them quite a bit, so I got to pay that bill off, and then hopefully I'll be on my way home. Within a couple months. Because it's already been a couple months, but I've still got open wounds, so I don't know if it'll be 2 months, 3 months. I'm hoping it'll be closed up in a month. I can go ahead and make plans to go back, but I don't think it's going to be that quick, But just want to say hello, fam. I love you. Hope everybody out there in YouTube world's doing good. If you're board, you like this content. I promise it's going to get better. It's going to get a whole lot better whenever I, can get me another set of wheels and get back out and get on to traveling. I will definitely show you around. Okay, y'all take care. God bless.